all. I am Ada Christa, working as assistant professor in EC department in Pratyusha Engineering College. In today's technology upgrade meeting, we'll discuss about brain fingerprinting. We'll see the introduction about brain fingerprinting, the technique used, the principle behind EEG, murmur methodology that is used in brain fingerprinting, operating mechanism of the technique, applications of brain fingerprinting, and conclusion. Brain fingerprinting, it is a technique to determine whether a specific information is stored in individual's brain. Either audio or visual stimulus is applied and the response is measured. When a crime is committed, a record of the event is stored in the brain of the suspect. By applying the stimulus, the brain wave response is measured. The stimulus may be any relevant words, pictures, or sounds. And this stimulus is presented to the subject through computer. Brain fingerprinting, it is not lie detection. In lie detection, that is polygraph, the emotion-based signals such as heart rate, sweating, and blood pressure are measured. Whereas in brain fingerprinting, the electrical activity of brain waves is measured. Electroencephalography, EEG. EEG is the recording of electrical activity of brain along the scalp. Electrodes will be placed on the scalp and the electrical activity of the brain is recorded. The voltage fluctuations in EEG, it is due to the activation of neurons in the brain. The EEG is collected from nearly tens to hundreds of electrodes placed on the scalp. The amplitude and frequency of brain signals, it is very less. It is in the range of millivolts. So the signal is amplified for further processing. Murmur is memory and encoding related multifaceted encephalography. Stimulus such as words, sounds, or pictures are presented. If the stimulus is familiar to the subject, then the murmur is recorded. Suppose a stimulus displayed is picture of crime event that is displayed in the screen. Then if the stimulus is familiar, if it is familiar to the crime, then the subject will easily recognize it. So the neurons get activated and there is increase in neuron activity since it is familiar and the changes in brain activity is recorded. Murmur is brain wave that is observed in response to familiar information. The response is P300, that is measurable brain response when familiar event is applied as stimulus. So initially the stimulus that occurs response is P300 and the murmur includes P300 and also another negative subcomponent. So it lasts for 2 seconds after the stimulus is initiated. This is the operating mechanism in brain fingerprinting. The stimulus is a picture or word that is shown in display to the individual. Due to this, the neurons in the brain get activated. Suppose if the picture or word is familiar to the subject, then the electrical activity increases. Now, the electrical activity of the brain is recorded. This is P300 wave. The electrical potentials accumulate in the brain. This electrical activity lasts for nearly 2 seconds. That is after the stimulus is applied. And this electrical signal is murmur. With the help of electrodes placed on the scalp, these brain waves can be recorded. This recorded signal, which is analog in nature, and it is the electrical activity of brain. Since the brain wave, it is of the order of millivolt, it is amplified using EEG amplifiers. Then the data is analyzed using computer program and it produces result that if the person is involved in the crime or not. There are 3 types of stimulus. Probe, that is a stimulus that is relevant to the situation and the subject denies of it. And target, the stimulus is picture of any familiar event is displayed and it is known to the subject. An irrelevant stimulus, it is the picture of any unfamiliar event and it is not known to the subject. Next, applications of fingerprinting. In medical field, it helps to evaluate the brain functioning and it helps to determine the effect of medicine more quickly. And the analysis of P300 wave helps to know the disease, that is dementia. So dementia, it is caused due to brain injury and it affects the ability to think and remember and to behave normally. Next is in counter-terrorism, it helps to determine who has participated in terrorist act either directly or indirectly. Then in advertisement, by measuring the brain response, it helps to find how effective the product branding strategy is. So brain fingerprinting, it is a new scientific technology. It helps in solving crimes, identifying the criminals and innocent suspects. Thank you.